Welcome, everybody. I am Cindy Smarsh. Welcome to the Light and Love that is Unity of Lawrence. I'm so happy to see all of you here. So happy to see those of you on Zoom and Facebook. Thank you for joining us. Welcome into the room. Here we are together again, and we've had an exciting week or so here as usual. I don't know if all of you were here last week, but we had a sale. And we have to shout out, they're not here, but we have to have another shout out to Michelle Kirk and Lisa Miller, because through their extremely hard work, we raised over $4,000 through that sale of donated items to us. Wow. Yeah. So that was very exciting, very exciting. The community really came forward, so it was great. So extra special thanks to Michelle Kirk and Lisa Miller for that effort. So, in Unity, we begin everything with prayer. So let's take a centering breath and open to the divine in all of us and listen to this prayer. With full hearts and open minds, we gather today to accept the endless possibilities of peace on earth and peace in our hearts. We acknowledge the existence of pain and injustice in the world, but we also acknowledge limitless love and our limitless being. We welcome our divine inheritance as co-creators. We know that we are already standing in the light of love, of healing, and of transformation, and so it is. Amen. Our prayer chaplains are trained to hold sacred space and pray with you one-on-one. If there's anything in your heart to be held in prayer, we invite you to see Holly today after the service right up here. She plays the piano, she prays, she probably juggles, I don't know, but anyway, but she will be right up there at the front of the sanctuary if you'd like to pray one-on-one with her. All of our chaplains will also pray for you during the week. If you'd like to fill out a prayer request, that's the little purple slip that's in the chairs in front of you, and place it in the wooden box outside of the office. They will get that prayer list. And they are also available to visit in times of need. Just let the office know. All your prayers are kept confidential unless you'd like the congregation to know, so we can all be praying for you, and you can indicate that on the slip. Okay, so now let's join Holly in singing Witness.
Let's all stand up together as we're again.
Nice. Okay, we all feel energized now, right? We've gotten some love out there. All right, well, let's read our unity intentions together slowly and deliberately. So first, we'll start with the founding principle together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Lawrence vision statement together. United in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And next, our Unity of Lawrence mission statement together. We are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. Now, please welcome our special music guest, Cindy Novello.
Morning. It's good to be here with you all today. As always like coming home. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Thank you, Cindy. That was beautiful. Okay, Robin Goff is here. Yay! Yay! Robin Goff is the founder and spiritual leader of the LUT Center, a Unity Service Ministry Retreat Center near Baldwin City, Kansas. For the past nearly 30 years, she has spearheaded the creation of sacred space on a 95-acre sanctuary near Baldwin. Robin is also a licensed Unity teacher and, of course, our dear friend. Welcome, Robin.
Thank you, Cindy. I asked Cindy to sing that song, but I didn't know it was going to make me cry right before I spoke. So it's okay. It's been that kind of weekend. So I'm here. I spent the day yesterday with about 20 people who had lost someone close to them by suicide for our annual retreat. And so my heart is kind of blasted open. And I'll just let it rip, whatever needs to flow through today. So years ago, I was approached by a man from Chicago who offered to connect me with this philanthropist who would support us if we wanted to do work in a developing country. And I said, well, sure, that sounds great. So I had friends who were teaching healing touch in South Africa, and so I connected with them, and they connected me with people over there, and started this thing going. And we had a memorandum of understanding for $11.4 million to do that work. And I went, wow. But it never came. And this went on for years and years and years. Oh, well, just give us another quarter. Oh, Homeland Security is a new thing, and it's messing up moving money to nonprofits internationally. And it's like, okay. So needless to say, those funds never came through, but it didn't matter because I went over to South Africa and fell crazy in love with the people and the place, just the most magical, beautiful place in the world. One of the most. And I was captivated then. And it was right at that same time that you'll remember Oprah Winfrey doing programs about AIDS orphans. And she was going over there and giving shoes to everybody and these big programs on TV. And that was really cool. And so I learned a lot more about the AIDS situation in South Africa through all of that, and started digging into understanding what the situation was. And so in South Africa, there's the highest number of people in the world impacted by HIV/AIDS, 8 million. And that's been going on since 1982. How many years is that? Somebody calculate that. That's a long time. And we still don't really have a handle on it in places where it's just flowing, where it's just moving and going. I think it's a lot better in the US, and our incidence here is much, much lower, although it's still present here in the US as well. So I would go to some of the AIDS orphan places that they had going on. And the way they started was somebody would be, like Rosie had a childcare. She's doing childcare with little kids, and the police started bringing her babies and dropping them on the doorstep and saying, you have to take this child. And so she had a house, a 2-story house, not a huge house, full of, gosh, I can't remember how many kids, 65 kids or something living in this little house. And it just kept happening, and she kept saying, okay. And then, of course, agencies in the US and in South Africa started supporting her. So it grew into like a city block of buildings and all different levels of care for people there. So it was quite something to see, though. And at the very beginning, I'd go there, and there would be like little bassinets lined up like that. Like more than you could ever imagine, babies just lined up. Or they'd be sitting on the floor, all lined up, eating. It's like, oh my gosh, if that doesn't grab your attention, I don't know what would. So at that point, it was all about that. That's what was grabbing my attention. So we started out initially saying, okay, we're gonna go and do something with this AIDS orphan crisis. So what I began to do, though, was to explore with people there on the ground who knew the situation. And they would set me up to go into the informal settlements. Does everybody know what I mean by informal settlements? Okay. They're hand-built shacks that go further than the eye can see. Miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. You get out of the Cape Town International Airport, and as you drive in on the main road, they're just on both sides of the road forever, 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 forever. It's unbelievable to see, and they're like little communities, and there are a number of them that are quite large and have been there for decades. And they're in other parts of the country as well. I mean, it's not just Cape Town, it's also out in the fringes and the more rural areas too. So nothing like that exists in the US. We do have encampments, don't we? But not at this level, not at this scale of numbers of people. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. So I started to learn about crime in these areas and crime throughout the city in Cape Town. Like, watch your cell phone, don't leave anything in the car. They do smash and grab whatever you leave in the car. And we had that happen one time. And all kinds of stories abound about theft and carjackings and things like that. So you walk around the city just kind of like looking over your shoulder, and you know you're a target. You're a white American, and you're a target. You've got the cell phones and the stuff, you know. So little by little, I found my way to Rivière-Sonderen. Rivière-Sonderen is a small town about the size of Baldwin, Kansas, and maybe 5,000 people. And I could walk around there without feeling afraid. I didn't need a car there, so a lot of times I would go and I'd get transportation to the little town, and then I wouldn't have a car. Well, I stayed there, and I lived in someone's home, and I lived on the colored side of town, and that was wonderful. I felt completely safe. Now, is there crime there? Yes, but they don't have weapons. Think what a difference that makes, you know? These are young people who don't have a car, they don't have much of anything in their household in terms of valuable stuff like we would have in our homes. And so crime there is a whole different story. Yes, there are some drugs, and there's a lot of issues with immigration. So South Africa is a first world, Cape Town is a first world city. You can go there and stay in a 4-star hotel and go to wonderful restaurants and see the beautiful seafront and all the sights and everything, and not look at the poverty, not look at the rest of it. You can just see a first world city if that's your cup of tea, you know. And out in the rural areas, in like the town that I go to, there's still a little fringe of like a little settlement area. And the interesting thing is they tell me out there that they're still living under apartheid rules. So there's the white side of town with big houses with beautiful gardens and a church with a big white steeple. That's that side of town. And then there's this smaller side of town with about 4/5 of the number of people in the town live in this little tiny area. And they mainly live in houses that were built in restitution for apartheid. So the government built little rectangular cinder block homes. They're small, they're simple, but people are proud to have them, thrilled to have them, and they see that as a real step ahead to be given one of these government homes. And you can wait on the list for like an eternity to receive one of those. So I first went to Rivière-Sonderen and taught healing touch. It's like, well, that's something I can do. I don't know what to do here, and I want to do something. So I started teaching and got to know all the women in town, and it was really fun, and they're all related in some way, you know, sister-in-law and sister and mother and grandmother and so forth. So it was a real fun way to get engaged in that town. But then we had a community assessment meeting. And John Jacobs, who's the man who heads up our work over there, called in a team from one of the universities, some older students, and they ran a community assessment with us. So all kinds of people got together with a team of Americans who were there. And we got into groups to talk about, well, what are the needs here? And of course, I'm thinking HIV orphans. And truly, there is the highest incidence of HIV anywhere in the Western Cape, which is a huge part of South Africa and includes Cape Town, but this little town has the highest incidence. So that really wasn't the issue that people honed in on. So the women in the group that I was in, mostly grandmothers, said, why don't we start a soup kitchen so we can feed the poor? And I went, oh, okay. So the people that I'm seeing who live there in these simple homes, without cars as a rule, without a lot of food in the cupboard, do not see themselves as recipients of outreach. They don't feel needy, you know? And so what they want to do is serve those who are around them who don't have a house, who don't have much of anything in the way of food or money or jobs or anything. So that was a tremendous wake-up call for me. Like, I have to check my assumptions at the door because I do not know the story here until I really dig in. And I have visited this same town and stayed in the colored side of town for about 20 years now. And so it's family. I have made family there, and I go back and see the same people, and I've watched kids grow up for 20 years who are now adults. And it's exciting to see how they're getting along in the world. So I think that there is this tendency among Americans to think we know what to do when we're talking about international outreach to a developing area. One is we want to give everything we have away. And so when I first started going, people would bring me huge trash bags full of children's clothing. This is for the AIDS orphans. Take this with you. It's like, well, I am taking one suitcase. And if I take all this with me, I can't take any clothes to wear. And so, you know, it began to sink in that, wait a minute. There are stores in South Africa. If you give me $10, I can buy a whole lot over there. You know, the exchange rate right now is 18 to 1. So a dollar goes a long, long way in South Africa. So I had to set my rheostat a little bit, like I can't jam enough stuff into these suitcases to really make a dent in what I'm doing. So then it was like, well, you know, we could teach people things and they could make things to sell, and then they can make money for themselves and have more money for the kids and their needs and so forth. And so I thought, well, we could teach people to knit and crochet. Well, they can knit and crochet circles around me. And they're better at teaching the kids to do it because they speak Afrikaans, which is much more comfortable for young girls, especially young girls. So each step of the way, all my brilliant ideas about how I'm going to help you kind of got adjusted as I learned and learned and learned. What is this all about anyway, Robin? So I think one of the valuable things about being in South Africa is adjusting my expectations for myself and my life even while I'm here. So things like not having a thermostat in the house to flip because there is no furnace and there is no air conditioner. Can you think about that on a really hot day, what that's like for you here? Same thing, you know? And so you might be lucky if there's a fan in the house, but a lot of households don't have a fan either. So we learned how it is that you adapt, how you live in a home that doesn't have hot running water, for example, and you heat up the water to wash your hair or whatever. It's interesting. They don't have, and I will say this is gradually changing, but they don't have the level of connectivity that we do with the internet. You can't assume that every household has a laptop or a smartphone or whatever. But you sit out in the front porch and you talk to everybody and you know what's going on already. So it's a whole different way of communication and being connected. Everybody knows if something's going on with someone in the neighborhood that needs some support or is going through illness or loss, whatever. So it's an interesting difference. I learned that if you don't have a car, that you have to walk up, it's uphill. You have to walk up to the main drag and buy your food and carry it home, which can be heavy, you know, if you're thinking of a bag of potatoes or onions or bottles of milk. You know, it's like, oh, what an eye-opener that is for me. So there was my friend had a little grocery cart thing, a little metal thing that you could pull on. Nobody used it but me. It's like, well, okay, the grandmothers just carried their bags and went frequently to the store. So that's learning what we take for granted in America. So one of the things that was extremely a learning experience, an extreme learning, was living in someone's home, and they just want to take care of you. I'd stay in Gertie's home. She died during COVID. Love you, Gertie. She wanted to cook me 3 meals a day. I'm talking meals a day, which is real unusual for me. And it was like, no, 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 you sit, 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 sit. Get out of my kitchen, you sit, sit, sit. And then I try to help clear and wash dishes. No, 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 go, go, go. It was her honor to serve me and take care of my meals. And she had worked in the hotel, which no longer exists, but there was a hotel, and during apartheid, the white people hired all of these people of color to work for them. And it was a matter of pride to do a really fine job with cooking and serving and tidying spaces for people so they were beautiful and nice. And if you pleased the white people, then you got rewarded. You got a little bit of money, you know, and praise, which was, so it was an important thing. And I had to learn to be a receiver. Say, thank you for preparing these meals for me. I see your cupboard. I know how much food you have, and somehow you manage to manifest these fabulous meals from next to nothing some days, you know? It's remarkable. So that is all about Ubuntu, which is you live the ethic of taking care of one another. That the Ubuntu is the South African, it's actually the ancient African ethic that says, I am because we are. That the importance is placed on the survival of the community and supporting everyone in the community to be all they can be, to bring their life's purpose forth into the world. And so it's real. It's like very different than the competitive model that we tend to live here in the US. So I'm going to go through this piece with you. This is from Rachel Naomi Remen. Does anyone know that name? Oh my. Oh. Rachel Naomi Remen, her one book that comes to mind is Kitchen Table Wisdom. She's an MD, and she teaches doctors at San Francisco, the university. And she has a little place called Commonweal, which is right on the rough, rugged coast of California in Bolinas. So it's wild country, and you're looking out at the ocean. And Rachel Naomi Remen is one of those people you just want to sit at her feet and listen to everything she says, because she is a wise, wise lady. She's lived with Crohn's disease her whole life and had countless abdominal surgeries. And so she lived her life on both sides of the bedside, in the bed and as the doctor. So she has a lot to say about our American medical system. And so I pulled out this, one of my very, very favorite ever little pieces by her, and I thought, well, I'll just hit a few highlights from this. But no, it's like I have to tell you the whole thing because I underlined the whole page. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So it's all about not how can I help, but how can I serve? The difference between those two. So she says, helping is based on inequality. It's not a relationship between equals. When you help, you use your own strength to help those of lesser strength. If I'm attentive to what's going on inside of me when I'm helping, I find that I'm always helping someone who is less strong than I am. People feel that inequality. Nobody wants to feel lesser. So when we help, we may inadvertently take away more from people than we could ever give them. We may diminish their self-esteem, their sense of worth, integrity, and wholeness. When I help, I'm very aware of my own strength, but we don't serve from our strength. We serve from ourselves. We draw from all of our experiences, our limitations, our wounds, our darkness, All of us can serve. The wholeness in us serves the wholeness in others. Doesn't that sound familiar? The Christ in me serves the Christ in you. Yeah. So that really resonates for me. The wholeness in you is the same as the wholeness in me, and service is a relationship between equals. Helping incurs debt. When you help somebody, they owe you. But serving, like healing, is mutual. There is no debt. I am as served as the person I'm serving. When I help, I feel satisfaction, proud of myself. Look at the good job I did. And when I serve, I have a feeling of gratitude. So serving is also different from fixing. So when I fix a person, I perceive them as broken. Brokenness requires me to act. And when I fix, I do not see the wholeness in that person. I don't trust the integrity of life in the other. When I serve, I see and trust that wholeness. It's what I'm responding to and collaborating with. There's a distance between ourselves and whatever or whomever we try to fix. Fixing is a form of judgment. Judgment creates distance, a disconnection. So it can easily become a moral distance. We cannot serve at a distance. We can only serve that to which we are profoundly connected, that which we are willing to touch. This is Mother Teresa's basic message. We serve life not because it is broken, but because it is holy. So if helping is an experience of strength, and fixing is an experience of mastery and expertise, service is an experience of being causal. A server knows that he or she is being used and has a willingness to be used in service of something greater, something essentially unknown. Fixing and helping are very personal. They're particular, concrete, and specific. But when we fix, we help many different things in our lifetimes, but when we serve, we are always serving the same thing. Everyone who has ever served through the history of time serves the same thing. We are servers of the wholeness and the mystery in life. The bottom line is we can fix without serving, we can help without serving, and we can serve without fixing or helping. Think about that. What do your outcomes look like? I think I would go so far as to say that fixing and helping may be often the work of the ego. Boy, did I run into that any number of times, especially in the early years over there. Whew. Service is the work of the soul. So our service serves us as well as others. That which uses us strengthens us. Fixing and helping are draining and depleting. Over time, we burn out. But service is renewing. When we serve, our work itself will sustain us. And I can attest to that. My work in South Africa feeds me deeply on so many levels. So service rests on the premise that the nature of life is sacred, that life is a holy mystery. When we serve, we know that we belong to life and to that purpose. Helping, fixing, and service are ways of seeing life. When you serve, you see life as whole. When you fix, you see life as broken. When you help, you see life as weak. So it's my objective to see life as whole. All suffering is like my suffering, and all joy is like my joy. And as I mentioned, she was often on the patient side. And she says, lastly, fixing and helping are the basis of curing, but not of healing. In 40 years of chronic illness, I have been helped by many people and fixed by a great many others who did not recognize my wholeness. All that fixing and helping left me wounded in some important and fundamental ways. Only service heals. So these are deep and profound thoughts, and I have read this, I can't even tell you how many times, and every time I read it, I go, oh yeah. It's just a profound reminder for me. So my work over there is about doing leadership development with teenagers. We're supporting kids to be able to go to university. The grannies decided they'd start making quilts, and so we all set about learning quilting together. And I brought a quilt with me today that's made by my dear friend Joan, who's my BFF in South Africa. And we raffle these quilts in order to be able to support kids to be able to go to university. We do not pay their tuition, the government does that. But they don't have a car to get there, they need transportation. They don't have parents who can pay their registration fee, which is probably the equivalent to about $50 US, but their folks can't manage that. And so we pay registration fees, we get kids there. Joan goes to bat for them. She goes to every single administration in any university there in Cape Town and says, no, this child needs financial aid. This child needs food assistance. This child needs assistance with lodging. So she gets them everything they need to be able to go to university. And we've had 30 kids now who've graduated. Before we began, there were 0 kids of color going to university from this town. So it's been a gigantic pleasure for me to come back and see these kids who are now in their 20s who have fabulous jobs. A couple of them are in accounting even, which is just unheard of. Nobody ever thought that was possible, but they're doing it. They're smart, they're sharp, and they've got good jobs, and they're raising little kids, and they're happy, and it's just totally my pleasure to be of service there to some. Thanks. So come see our raffle quilt.
That was so beautiful, such a good example of service. So I was recently on a 10-day silent retreat, and this song that I'm going to sing for you next was offered on the last day. So at that point, we're all very open, a little vulnerable in a good way. And I just fell in love with this song, and I hope you all will like it too. It's by an amazing woman who I had not heard of before. Her name is Melanie DeMore. She's a Black activist from the Bay Area, powerful musician and person. So this is called Sending You Light. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to hold you, to heal you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. No matter where you go, no matter where you've been, you'll never walk alone. I feel you deep within. So I am sending you light sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to hold you, to heal you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. No matter what you feel or what you choose to show, I'm always there for you, no matter where you go. And I am sending you light to hold you, to heal you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to hold you, to heal you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I walk the path with you. Go slow, dear one, don't hurry. I'll go just like you need to go. There is no need to worry, 'cause I am sending you light to hold you, to heal you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to hold you, to heal you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to hold you, to heal you. I am sending you light to hold you in love.
And we hold each other now in love. So turning within to the wholeness in you. The part of you that is never sick. The part of you that is never afraid or worried. Sometimes it's hard to find, but it never leaves you. So find that quiet center where spirit lives in you now. And only from that part of you can you send love fully to serve others. So I invite you to think of those who've been on your heart lately. Friends, family members, people you witness in a newscast or hear about. And just notice how when you connect to the flow of pure spirit, there's an unlimited supply. It comes in through your feet, it comes in through the top of your head, and it flows freely from your heart across the land, across the oceans, over the mountains. And when you serve in this way, directing your love to flow wherever it's needed, it will travel. It will surely go and do the work that Spirit, only Spirit, can do in this world. So that the wholeness in you is recognizing the wholeness in every other person, regardless of the circumstances. So we feel ourselves now as a group radiating so much light. Out through this community, this country. There's a lot of distress in our country, so let's send soothing, loving light into the midst of all of it. And allow it to radiate out to countries around the globe. And to all beings everywhere. And if you would join me in using the sound of your voice in any way that's a fit for you, any way you're comfortable, let's send an even greater stream of energy through us out into the ethers, out into the field of energy that surrounds us and radiates to every part of the universe. It is unlimited. And so we rest in the knowing that that wholeness in me and the wholeness in you are forever, forever radiant, fully active and present in the world as we learn day by day to serve one another. And so it is. Thank you, God. Amen.
So we're going to bring the energy up in here a little. And as a way of doing that, I'll just transition us with a couple of things. If you want to find a really amazing recording of that Sending You Light, there is, I think, a studio recording, but it's not the best one. The best one is on YouTube only, this one amazing, like, impromptu piano and vocal only. Just look for Melanie DeMore, Sending You Light on YouTube. It's amazing. And then I'd also love to tell you that I do an annual gratitude concert every year, and the next one is on November 2nd. And there's some flyers out there if you're interested. It's in somebody's home. My sister, who plays fiddle and nickel harper and guitar and all kinds of things, will be joining me, so it'll be just a fun celebration. Notice the timing, November 2nd, to get us, ready for whatever might come. So if you want to stand up and maybe stretch your body, I'm going to ask for your participation in this next song, also a Melanie DeMore song. It's called Lead with Love. And I need you to assist me by clapping and hopefully singing. So it's a very simple song, so you'll catch on in terms of the choruses, and then the verses are call and response. So you just repeat what I send out there, and we'll create this together. All right, y'all ready? Okay. Okay, ready? Keep that going the whole time. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, that's it, and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope.
Don't give up hope.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Don't you give up.
Don't you give up.
Keep moving on.
Keep moving on.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes.
Lift up your eyes.
Don't you despair.
Don't you despair.
Look up ahead.
Look up ahead.
The path is there.
The path
Okay, sing it like you mean it. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared.
I know you're scared.
And I'm scared too.
And I'm scared too.
But here I am,
But here I am.
right next to you.
Right next to you.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope.
Don't give up hope.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Don't you give up.
Don't you give up.
Keep moving on.
Keep moving on.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. And lead with love. And lead with love. And lead with love. All right, great job.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Robin. Wow, okay. So now is our time of thanks. So as our ushers come forward for our time of thanks, I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. So let's affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And as the love offering is collected, let's join Holly in singing Stand.
Let there be peace.
So here's our prayer of thanks. Please listen. We are grateful, and we bless the flow of good that supports our unity community. We stand in the knowing that the flow of good goes forth only to return again and again, and so it is. Amen. And now for our opportunities. A special welcome to all of our guests today. Thank you so much for joining us. There's more information about Unity of Lawrence and the Unity Movement in the welcome packet in the foyer. Today, the Sunday lunch bunch is meeting at Johnny's West at 721 Wakarusa Drive. Everybody's welcome. It's a time of fellowship, socializing, and good food. Choir practice starts tomorrow. Woo! Tomorrow night, September 30th at 6:20, right in here. So please see Holly if you have any questions or need more information. Remember, open meditation is Tuesdays at 6:30 with Phil. Everyone is welcome. Men and those who identify as male have their fellowship group this Thursday at 7 p.m. And now we have another announcement from Holly about the Rising Ranch Retreat.
This one is coming right up. It's called Nurture Your Nature, Attuning to the Somatic. And this is called a nature-based mindfulness retreat. It's a day long, October 5th. It's in Oskaloosa. It's about a 20-minute drive from here, and it's called Rising Ranch. Myself and 2 other practitioners put together a day. I'm going to do a sound meditation at the beginning of the day that's out in a stone circle. That's really an amazing view, an amazing experience to be out there. And this is just all about guiding you to explore the first foundations of mindfulness, focusing in on mindfulness of the body. And so we're bringing our spiritual into the physical and into the connection with others and with nature and with ourselves at a little deeper level. So there's a sliding scale. These are the flyers out back if you're interested. You can look that up online and sign up if you like. Thank you.
Sounds beautiful. Thank you, Holly. So Amy Yee, who you may have known formerly as Amy Tankersley, is offering a chair yoga class on Tuesday, October 8th at 5:30 p.m. here in the sanctuary. So you can plan on coming to yoga and then staying for meditation if you would like also that evening at 6:30. And it is on a love offering basis. And she's going to do a second one on Tuesday, October 22nd, and then see if there's ongoing interest and so forth. Please save the date for October 12th, Saturday, our annual fall meditation retreat with Phil Roger at the Light Center in Baldwin. It will begin at 10 and end at 3:30. It will include meditations that support spiritual awakening, discussion, time for reflection, and fellowship. Participants on this path and those just curious are all invited to come and contribute their presence and energy. Suggested donation is $25, and there's more information in the foyer. Have you guys heard about BBB yet? I bet you're wondering, what is BBB? Well, Betty Wilson wants to have a party. So it's Betty's Big Bash. Betty's Big Bash on Wednesday, October 16th. You do not want to miss this. We are going to, it's 4:30 to 6:30, kind of come and go as you wish. Bring a snack to share if you want to. But we are celebrating our Betty, our wonderful Betty. So BBB, Wednesday, October 16th, downstairs, okay? I know. Party. We love a good party here. Thank you, Betty. All right, so we have that. Okay, there's more. There's more. Okay, Thursday, October 17th at 6:30 is the next women's group. Okay, 6:30 to 8. It's usually the fourth Thursday. We're changing it around a little. It's the third Thursday, October 17th, 6:30. And here's some information. So it's playing with tarot to connect to our intuition and take charge of our story, our lives, an interactive workshop with Tamara Murdoch, which Tamara's here today. If you don't know Tamara, raise your hand. Woo, Tamara. There's no knowledge of tarot needed. She's going to do a brief 20-minute-ish overview with an emphasis on metaphysical aspects of the cards, and the remainder of the time will be interactive with group and individual readings. And if you need a ride, talk to Nancy, our leader. Nancy, you want to wave? So rides are available if you don't want to drive in the dark or you just want to come, join together. That is available too. So we just need to plan for that. And then Robin, you have this quilt to raffle. What do we need to know about what to do? Like, is it all obvious back there? Okay, Robin will be back there. It's on the bench. It's stunning. It's beautiful, and it's for the causes she shared this morning. So please support that if you feel led. And join us next Sunday when Reverend Mary Wood will bring us the message, KISS. Keep it simple spiritually. I like that. Special music with Jeremy Fatchnick. If you haven't experienced Jeremy, he is incredible. And of course, Reverend Mary is also, he comes all the way from Colorado. So don't miss that. So now it's time to rise as you're able and sing the peace song together.
And Jeremy will have a concert before that during the week in Lawrence here.